As we're about to go into pick and ban, I'll raise you also a pick maybe of this series. The Lee Sin's on the back of my mind for people like Lucid, for Tatu as well. We talk about what Tatu can do as that very carry-style oriented jungler. Well, Lucid might share a champion pool with him, and so far we see a Narband actually very early on.
Yeah, really interesting to see that. Be some priority on some of our picks that, you know, we see often counterpicked by the Gnar. The Renekton comes to mind. The Ambessa, which is Guigo's most played as well. So we will see. Syndra going to be taken actually for Tutsz. So I mentioned earlier, hasn't played it yet this year. It'll be his first time. And he also denies it in this Fearless Best of 3 from ShowMaker for the rest of it. So see what else they can build around with this. The Ambessa does pair really well with this Syndra, so I expect that's where he's planning to go next. But Dplus Kia now have the opportunity to get a counter pick here, as well as grab a jungler for Lucid.
Yeah, it is normally something like the Jarvan first pick. Obviously, that's banned away here by FURIA, so I love the respect that they've given. Viktor comes in nice and early as a match to try and deal with the range from Tutsz. But question is, early junglers, as Wolf just alluded to, or setting up for that bot lane support, which the desk didn't really like, talking about this Camille, and we're not doing it again, surely.
You know, there's a lot of things CVMax is known for, but one of them is running it back. And before Fearless, he would often keep playing the same draft over and over in a series, but maybe extending that to the day, but not in this game, as it will be the Camille to come through here. And in response, it looks like we're going to see that Ziggs Leona. We have seen this so many times today. Yeah. The Camille is so fragile, and the Leona is so durable. So when they match up, especially when we get to later stages of the game, sometimes the Camille falls over.
I feel like a pretty standard draft for FURIA. Very meta-heavy dependent draft that we're seeing, especially with that bottom lane mage. And the long range from JoJo is going to fit nicely. This Nocturne being thought about. And remember, Orianna has been banned away, so there's no pairing there. But taking out the Lee Sin early does feel like for Lucid would set the tone of the series, especially when it is a favorite by Tatu as well.
I think Lee Sin, obviously with the Viktor mid-jungle, a little bit sketchy there. But you have the Camille set up in this draft, and you have fairly immobile carries, right? The Syndra extremely immobile, and the Ziggs has only one satchel to work with, right? So there's a lot of agency for Lucid on this Lee Sin in the matchup we have so far. So a lot of picks, I think, that work well with FURIA, or anything that's single target, right? The Ambessa, I think, is the one that's number one on Dplus Kia's mind here for Guigo, especially considering his history with the champion. So I imagine that'll be the first one to go. Instead, it'll be the Nefiri first. We've seen this so much today. To mixed results.
Yeah, very mixed results. I think pairing has been really important with it so far. Of course, with that jungler taken away, Tatu is losing some diving options. Trying to think about where he goes. You pulled out the Zinzao before. Also raised potentials like the Skarner maybe. That could align with the Leona. Jace taken away to add range. Worried about Siwoo's Jace as one of his favorites to split.
Yeah, I did play it earlier today. Unfortunately for him, not successful. Did I think die over 6 times ultimately.
Oh yes.
But still, taking it away is a wise choice. See this final ban. Ambessa really sticks out to me as so obvious, considering they have the Syndra either set up or follow up, but they're so focused on the jungle instead. So CVMax makes the call once again to pull out the Xin. So thinning that pull out does make the rest of this draft a little bit more tough for FURIA.
Yep. Wukong left, Sejuani left, Maokai, Skarner, just rattling things off. That could be a tank engage here for Tatu in this first game. Or if he wants Viego, which is a bit more explosive.
It's not even impossible. We could see Pantheon jungle as well. As the Renekton is taken away here. It would be interesting if Siwoo just takes, because they do have pick priority, the Ambessa themselves.
Yeah, because that's such a fish here from FURIA. Take away Ambessa, and then what are they going to pick themselves?
Answer ShowMaker.
Hold on, no.
Wait a minute.
Sure.
We've seen a lot of mage bot
it could be Viktor bot.
One.
And then ShowMaker takes his historic most played. I mean, right now they're saying
it's happening, hysterics.
Viktor bot, right?
It is going to be Viktor bot, 100%.
I would assume not the Ahri. That seems like the horrible of the two.
Unless Siwoo's like, I've got a mean Ahri top counter pick for this Ambessa.
We cook even more.
I think it is going to be Viktor in the bottom lane, which is quite interesting. See what ends up pairing with the Skarner you mentioned earlier. It looks like it is going to be the jungle of choice. There is a lot of setup in this draft. The Ambessa was so obvious from the outset. When it wasn't picked here for Dplus Kia, we knew it was coming through. So this draft here has a lot of burst damage and a ton of lockdown. It does not necessarily have consistent damage, but that may not matter, as the response here looks like it is going to be the Vayne that has been left open here for Siwoo. This will leave the Camille Viktor bottom lane, which has a lot of damage output, but it's not a traditional Camille setup.
Yeah.
What a weird game and weird draft here that we're heading into for Dplus.
Oh, looks like he's going to
lock at this? Because I was going to say, the front line not existent, very volatile. I guess this is just putting in some... What? So some more teamfight control, and control being the key word.
I'm going to be honest with you, Hysterics. If I took the nameplates off, I would just say, well, the team that the Ziggs Leona draft, that's
great.
A real draft.
That looks like a real draft.
That's a real draft.
Well said.
That's 5 champions that have synergy together, work well together.
I like that draft.
I like that draft. I look at what Dplus Kia have, though, in reality, and I'm like, it's a solo queue game after the AD carry said that he heard that mages were meta, and he auto-filled AD carry, and he was like, you know, I guess I can play Viktor. There's a lot of scaling in the Viktor. There's a little bit of pick in the Ahri. There's a front line with the Cassante. There's Camille for setup. But this draft is kind of all over the place.
Yep.
It's not necessarily a scaling draft. It's not necessarily a pick draft. It has a front line.
We want to dive.
It doesn't have great front to back. It doesn't have an AD carry.
Where do we front to back here? It's a little bit cooked. Maybe overcooking from Dplus Kia.
It's a CV Max moment. We'll certify that. I think when you're the expected favorites, you could take this as I'm hiding strategies or I'm experimenting in some ways. Smash does not look super comfortable about playing the Viktor in this one, but you could also look at it as an insane risk, and if you end up losing this first game, the momentum is against you. It could backfire in a major way. They already experimented with the Trundle support earlier today. That failed, so caliber of opponent here, I think, very different. We can all acknowledge that, but a risk has been taken. We'll see if it pays off.
I've just been told there has been a monitor problem on stage. We're going to fix that shortly, or at least give you an update as to when that is getting solved. Not sure from who right now, but you'll see tech on the screen. Maybe it's on FURIA's side. You're right. Experimentation, though, from DK. That's something quite interesting. And I'm just going through Smash's history because obviously with Mage Bot, we have very small sample size of meta, right? And as I'm going through, and I've just accidentally gone to ShowMaker, I want to know if this is his first ever Viktor game bot.
I think it may be. You might have to go as far back to Challengers to really check.
I'm going his whole career.
Because we've seen a lot of experimentation out of Smash. A lot of people aren't familiar that Smash used to lane with Reckless back on T1, and they played a lot of Ashe Rumble bottom lanes. You know, Reckless was cooking a lot. They played a lot of Janna lanes.
It's his first. It's his first ever Viktor game bot. He's played, things like Casio bot. We got Rumble, as you mentioned there, which is 1-1. We've even got a Lee Sin bot, Yasuo, bit of Neela, Mel even. But, of course, there is no Viktor bot here. First time for DK in an elimination series.
Yeah, there was a notorious Viktor bottom game in the LCK when we had an emergency sub of a player called Ophelia for Gen G, who was a mid laner, but he had to play bottom lane and did not go well. We've seen some Syndra bot experimentation in the LCK, but Smash known to be quite an aggressive player in the early game, but we'll see if he can make that playstyle work here with Camille Viktor. And not a common pairing, to say the least. I wonder how the damage profile is going to pan out. As we finally get that monitor issue fixed, we're going to jump into our last BO3 of the night. It's been a long stream. I think, Wolf, you've been here longer than me, since 9 o'clock this morning. But on my 9th or 10th hour now, Wolf's 12th hour, we're going to run you through in what could be a barn burner. DK versus FURIA. One more elimination, one more team for their key to be crushed and to bite the dust as FURIA start with an invade up in top side, going to be channeled nicely here by Lucid and Siwoo, who are just hovering around the choke to jungle. ShowMaker decides to face check and has to flash, though, into a Leona, so it's a rough start here for the mid laner of DK. Certainly not a level 1 where you feel very happy to meet a Leona, and so ShowMaker will be flashless here in this matchup, already taking a bit of damage here as well. Can be very frustrating into Syndra. If Syndra hits every single Q, find yourself pushed out of the lane quite quickly. He took Ahri for additional harassment, as you guys can see here, and ShowMaker is not going to be enjoying his early game.
No, he's not. A couple of Dark Spheres down and Tutsz winning out the trade. Pot used for Tutsz here to get up nice and healthy. ShowMaker's probably going to have to burn his second one as well. Another Dark Sphere. Yeah, it's going absolutely horribly here. Remember, that flash down as well makes him even more volatile in this lane as he finally dodges one.
Imagine if he was Ignite Ahri.
Oh.
At least he's not. He does have teleport, but he's going to try to heal up here a little bit, get level 2. Poof.
Yep.
Tutsz is smashing him.
Tutsz is destroying him so far, so that teleport probably going to be used shortly as all the pots are gone as well.
Yeah, we'll be able to get straight back to lane and should be able to recover, but still a nice lead here. A lot of tempo advantages here for FURIA. This matchup is going to be quite volatile on the top side, the Ambessa into Cassante. This is the matchup I'm most interested in, right, is how is this mage battle going to go?
Yeah.
This is the Ziggs that he is laning into, with the Leona being more durable, as we mentioned before. They have the push in the lane so far, and we'll see if Career can find any angles, right, to punish. I don't think it's going to be a dive we see anytime soon.
I think I'm always worried about Leona running into Camille, or rather Camille running into Leona. And it feels like JoJo will be able to keep his AD carry very safe, and for Career, angles are a minimum, maybe now as JoJo walks back to defend Tatu on his Krugs. Just a quick side note on that mid lane interaction we saw. TB used for both. Dark Seal picked up here from Tutsz versus Refillables is all ShowMaker could carry.
Yeah, so Tutsz just trying to get a little bit of extra tempo advantage here from that. Getting the Dark Seal, which is very cost-efficient stats for the early game. And obviously could scale up if you can get a nice lead. Career going to come over here and look for an early gank with this roam onto Tutsz.
Okay, gonna get sent back though. Good scout of the week, and Career didn't burn his flash for that, but wanted to find an angle as JoJo's made the roam now as well. But Lucid's coming in, good safeguard. Look for the Sonic Wave, and Resistance gonna fall off in a second. There's that Sonic Wave, but will not be taken with the Resonating Strike. Lucid rather, if I can speak properly, is just gonna cross through and look for topside Scuttle with a contest versus Tatu.
It's a crazy draft. It's been a long day, Hysterics.
It's been a long day.
I'm waiting for my moment to mess something up. As, look, the E was used for Tatu in that last exchange, so he couldn't actually come over and look for a punish, but Lucid now...
Gonna pass safeguard though, goes over the wall. Tatu's still gonna find a wall of his own as Lucid looks to face check. He gets stunned on up. JoJo comes in here strong. Sonic Wave gonna land. Lucid not gonna take that Q once again. Help from mid lane was big as Career, I think, tried to find something on the bottom side. Ayu hasn't burned his flash though as we come back to look at the lane and just has to walk it back.
Ayu offering a lot of damage here just by himself, as we will see JoJo head back to the lane. Both of our supports even in experience. We've seen a lot of roaming early on. These, you know, sometimes when the enemy doesn't have flash in the mid lane, you want to make something happen there, but Career was the first to roam, was matched there. And the game has been very action-packed, despite obviously no kills going over here.
It's been off the back of, you know, that mid lane play starting off or the individual lane. Obviously, Career's roam. He tried to come in clutch, but all summoners still remain up and available. JoJo's walking back to the bottom lane. Career going to hook shot, wall shot, flashes, ignite down, looking for the kill threat. Ayu's going to flash away. He'll survive, but Career gets a key summoner out of the Ziggs.
Yeah, such a great timing for Career to come in there. The execution was crisp, and this is going to force a back. Ayu has already used his teleport, so it's going to take him a little while to get back to the lane. But he did react very quickly there and was able to avoid dying, so still major for him as Tatu.
Hook shot, wall shot, the drive not going to find its mark. Tatu just walks back instead. Tutsz half the way, or rather a little bit more to level 6, so a bit of kill threat here if he's able to find any play with these roams from Career. JoJo also trying to match as well as Lucid's getting in the thick of it with Tatu, paying him respect, and Lucid's just going to find his way out through Drake.
One of the things you guys will notice right away, if you look at the bottom lane, is Smash has a pretty massive CS lead as well as a huge experience lead. And that is something that's really going to matter if he can get level 6-4 in early fight here, even potentially on this dragon would be massive. We are contesting for it.
Ooh, out of the week. There is kill threat here. Zenith Blade going to be followed up. Shield of Daybreak as well. JoJo close to the damage as Lucid safeguards his support. JoJo thinking about that next Zenith Blade to find the mark and unleashing power from Tutsz as he has flash available, but it's not going to be committed here. FURIA still deep in enemy territory, but JoJo's roams obviously right now seems to be better.
You see it back from ShowMaker as he rushes back in here. Smash getting so close to level 6.
Look at the wave. Slow pushing. Smash does get level 6, as you said.
There's the level 6, but not set up for the dragon just yet. He has no mana, so we'll need to back. Unlike, you know, traditional AD carries, you really do need that in order to fight.
Yeah. He's going to stay, though. I guess the idea is receive the wave, then base. Obviously, without the TP, he wants a neutral wave and not lose that CS advantage that he's gained over this lane so far, as ShowMaker's making a roam. He's level 6. He's got the Spirit Rush, but Tatu's going to get out of there before he thinks about pressing the buttons, and DK are just going for a lovely stroll with waves pushed out or neutralized.
They're really just trying to get some pressure on with the prio that ShowMaker had very briefly there, but it is not really going to lead to anything. Smash can't back because another wave is coming through, so he's just chilling in the bottom lane, and it looks like this Dragon is just going to have to wait.
Yeah, for the time being, both supports are just going to sit around the mid lane. Bit of vision dropped in the river as well, as Korea now level 4. With JoJo matching out as well, sapping some experience from these mid laners. And yeah, bit of action as you said earlier, but it has slowed down a little bit. And at the end of the day, I think the players are tired.
Yeah.
You know, they've been here, I think maybe longer than us.
Probably, with all the content they've got to be in, but ShowMaker has stabilized really well after losing his flash early, right?
Yeah.
Having to teleport early. He has actually maintained CS parity in this game so far. He's going to get some honey fruit to heal up. And the big break point in this early game is going to be when that Dragon actually is started. We got such a late start of the Dragon that everybody has ultimates going into that fight, of course, with the exception of the supports. And it's been an early game that's been a lot of tempo, a lot of back and forth, but again, no big battle just yet. No real traditional fight or skirmish. And it's the kind of game that is a slow burn that fits the state of the evening, right? We've been such a long day here, and players have waited for this moment for quite some time after a grueling best of 3 was played before. But when I have that skirmish now...
Maybe. Scatter does connect. Unleash power not yet. JoJo again makes the roam. Both supports love this lane. It just means everything gets neutralized and a little bit more boring for the time being. Grub's going to spawn as well in the meantime. It might just be a cross map as JoJo heads up there now. Korea covering a little bit. Siwoo's getting the push in top lane in the meantime as well. Guigo just chilling. I mean, to be fair, this Cassante, he's done okay. I mean, a lot of the time you see this matchup go 10, 20 CS down with the Ambessa finding success, but so far, maybe it's just because we don't have that eclipse yet. We'll see at the very least.
FURIA start these grubs first in response to the Lucid Dragon take on the bottom side of the map. So it's going to be an even exchange in terms of the objectives. How much value these grubs will get remains to be seen. Obviously, having a Ziggs is pretty valuable.
Oh, it's not bad.
When you have 3 grubs and a satchel at your side to eliminate turrets, so even a small win can lead to more, but Lucid.
Oh, I used the trouble Sonic Wave. How easy is that for first blood? We pop on down, Ayu's popped out, and Smash is just going to take some plates for himself.
Fairly late. First blood here, just before 9 minutes. If that Sonic Wave doesn't hit, maybe the bomb clears the wave and they at least will have a little bit more commitment to actually get the kill there. But it does hit, and that's Lucid's Lee Sin for you.
Yeah, he can see. And that's, you know, first blood, and it leads to a Sundered Sky. So, yeah, easy as that as well. And it comes off the Smash lead that we talked about, that you kind of highlighted, Wolf, that the bot lane has just slowly been chilling. Smash has just been maintaining that lead, and obviously the option into the Ziggs bot so far is a bit of a success for his first game of Viktor bot.
Career is going to be seen on this ward. I don't know how much it matters, though.
Yeah, it doesn't, because he gets flipped out. The Pathmaker, after going all out, Guigo's going to flash away. Siwoo pops that without burning his own flash, though, as Lucid's coming towards mid. Now the action continues on. Spirit Rush already used the charm as well to kick back, and Lucid hits everything with a Tempest Cripple. At max range, ShowMaker will take the kill. Blood on Summoner's Rift looking mighty fine for DK with a 1.6k gold lead.
Yeah, Tutsz looking a little bit frustrated on the player cam there. Committed his flash to try to look for the outplay, but I don't think it was ever going to work out for him. Nice scatter placement, but he still goes down at the end of the day. And so a big win again on both sides of the map here for Dplus.
And it's going to happen again. I mean, Ayu does have his flash available, but Lucid's in his way, so respect has to be paid. Wave has to be lost. He was going to get the flip back. Oh no! Ulti to get him out though. Guigo saved his life by pressing the R button. Otherwise, Siwoo had his number, and it would have been misery across the whole of Summoner's Rift.
It does look like Ayu is going to survive there on the bottom side. Does have JoJo coming down. As we'll watch this again, ShowMaker going into point-blank range to guarantee the charm. Lucid gets the kick Q combo. And even with the scatter attempt to get him off of him, this is always going to go down there. It's all about the charm setup, which is why we saw ShowMaker's first-person view there.
Yep. The Smash is going to interrupt the base. There is a 2-level lead. Chaos Storm down, flash away from Ayu. And the Arcane Storm, rather, is just going to travel. Ayu going to get tagged out. Hextech Minefield through. He avoids. Goes back to his own turret. But Ayu on this Ziggs, I repeat, 2 levels down. Let's call it 1.5, but still,
Sure.
I think the word misery can be used once again.
Absolutely. At least he has his teleport.
Yeah.
He is going to try to greed for this wave, and I think he'll be able to get away with it.
Yep.
As Lucid is top side right now. But this is what happens with Korean Lee Sins, you know, especially players like Lucid. Yeah, he almost does go down there. Is you end up getting a nice tempo advantage, and you just kind of surf from lane to lane and create misery for your opponents. As Dplus have a 2K lead, you do have a bit of a scrap up your top side.
But buffered, nicely done. Hookshot, wall shot gets career out, but he's got the Hextech ultimatum, so Lucid originally was walking towards this red buff, going towards mid instead, where ShowMaker's looking to path. IU teleports towards the top lane. But FURIA trying to overload for now.
And we do see a response here from the rest of Dplus as ShowMaker is also coming up. Smash heading back down to the bottom lane right now.
ShowMaker, damage on Tatu first. Siwoo's fighting it out with Guigo while the stun comes up onto JoJo. Guigo getting low. Siwoo's going into all out. Teleport going to be channeled. ShowMaker flashes forward. Sets up perfectly with the charm of DK. They get suppressed. They get impaled. It's nice, but there's no damage from FURIA. Not enough at the very least. 2 more kills over to DK as FURIA are routed with their overstack.
Yeah, that was a really nice try, especially the impale was very clean there coming through from Tatu, but unfortunately Dplus still have too much, and there's not enough damage, like you said, despite the numbers advantage here in the initial setup.
Oh, this happened in the meantime, I think.
Yeah, you had a great scatter for the defense, but Lucid is just too sticky. Denies the blast cone. Oh, it's a lot right now for FURIA to try to deal with. This is now a 4,000 gold lead pre-13 minutes.
We've had one Korean team today win in under 20 minutes. This is not on track for that, but it does feel like in under 30 is realistic right now as 4,000 gold lead. And Smash is having a great day, or at least I should say a great game. And everything else is falling into place here.
And it just does feel like, kind of like we alluded might happen. The draft plays some part in this, but it's not about the draft, it's just about the individual play backing up the team play, right? They're at the right place at the right time, but ShowMaker's hitting these charms. Got the point-blank charm earlier, got the charm there onto Guigo at the last moment to help secure that setup on the fight on the top side. Lucid hitting these sonic waves, playing an incredible mechanical game of Lee Sin, and Dplus are just having fun.
As they do. ShowMaker waiting for IU to step up. He's obviously seen though, but you can see Korea's moving down. Smash around mid has push. IU keeps trying to base here, and this is going to be the 3rd or 4th time this game that he has to be careful. As I say that, he does get away. Korea wasn't there in time, drops towards his Tatu. And IU, without teleport available, is just going to have to run towards his mid lane to catch away from Smash while Dragon starts again. Yeah,
looking like a double Dragon here. JoJo caught.
And JoJo will have the flash away. Impale over the wall is going to miss as well. Lucid stopped the Dragon for that, but DK are not stopping the run. Tatu found out a gravity field over the wall as well. On the red buff respawn, Lucid's going to start that, and Tatu will have no business being in his own jungle in this.
You can see the lack of vision here is super frustrating for Smash isn't even going to spend the time clearing out that ward. He'll leave that to Lucid, and Dplus should be able to, albeit delayed, take this second dragon start here for them. And these grubs, you know, they might eventually be worth something.
The turrets first. Wolf dead right on that. Attacks that ultimatum on Tutsz with the charm. How easy to dive this game. We said there's a lot of different moving parts, but there's the dive element, Wolf. There it is in the flesh.
And it's what we mentioned before, into this decent agency is high, as they're going to get the dragon now.
Buffered, uses the ulti. Perfect execution is quite public, actually. Is Siwoo up against the wall. Solid Flare going to be flashed away from. Everything from FURIA thrown into this Kasasa. And they're going to try and take the turret down with it as well while Dragon goes down and Bot is under harass.
That's a really common setup to leave the Cassante alone when you are in this type of setup because it is very difficult to kill him, but bring this many people. They will also get the bounty here as they pick up their first turret of the game, which is also first brick here for FURIA. So I think the best cross map they could have ever hoped for is going to be in trade for that second dragon and a lot of damage on the mid turret.
And Scatter as well. Lucid has to get the kick down. Gravity Field helping out. Lucid gets out with a breath of fresh air. Only just a bit of health. He's not going to die yet. In the end, excuse me, the turret shot helps out to shut down. It's good for FURIA so far, but Tatu was on the Herald. And now he's going to have to pull off. ShowMaker and Korea on the way. Obviously in front of his face right now as Orb Deception does good damage. TP is a double. Looking for the Herald for the play, but the charm connects. And down it goes. In the end, the smite wasn't enough. It's ShowMaker who got the Herald. And Siwoo picks it up. They're on the chase for more kills. Ahri's been found out. He flashes away, but ShowMaker's got one more in him. Satchel charge to build the space. and it's a DK win in the end as well. The objective down in their favor. Guigo will not be able to find the kill here on Siwoo.
It's a disaster here for FURIA. Nothing is going right. ShowMaker here, looking for his opportunity to deny this. He does have some help. Obviously, the TP is coming through for the contest here, but they're matched. ShowMaker gets the charm here, denies the ability for him to smite that one down, gets the steal, and then the eye is picked up by Siwoo.
Speaking of, JoJo saving with the Soulfire, and IU actually has to walk it out yet again. This Ziggs gets no reprieve in the game as we look towards top, and all-out use, and once again, a public execution from Guigo. He's going to Herald every time, and you're right, the Herald is now going to be dropped.
I think they're just going to look to take this whole turret out. That's why ShowMaker is indexing towards the top lane, and Guigo is so low. Gonna have to be careful here. He does have his teammates coming up to defend in the meantime. Lucid looking for a 1v1 in the bottom lane.
He is on the Tutsz. Sonic Wave connects. Scatter the Weak does a bit of time saving, but Lucid still on the chase. Orbs are getting dropped down, but Tutsz gonna get kicked in the wall and destroyed. Lucid's Lee Sin reminds me of how good he is on the champ, as ShowMaker now has to deal it out. Gets the charm here on the enemy support, but as he pulls out the Spirit Rush, Guigo's going to look for the chase. One more left and take for ShowMaker as Siwoo runs back into enemy lines. Impale will find his mark though, as Korea needs to save the play. Hookshot, wall shots into Guigo, but the Mega Inferno Bomb is going to help get the kill. Guigo's only got one. DK now running for their lives on the top side, but Smash has joined in the battle. Guigo is very low. As he takes out the wave, he's going to run to dodge, and DK do lose Siwoo once again. But in the end, that bot lane solo kill still happened.
They get the turret. So they save the turret, rather. Ash.
No Impale. Solar Flare slow smash down. He flashes away. Still following up his Tatu. ShowMaker's got to help on out, though. FURIA on the chase. There's no turret here for DK, so they're going to run for their life. Smash gets a bit of move speed, and with the poke coming through from Viktor, that'll safeguard DK's escape.
Certainly will. I said Ash. I meant to say Ahri, but the Ahri didn't get involved. See, I told you I'd mess something up in this game. The ShowMaker is, at this point, only 650 gold ahead. He has the smallest lead of any role right now, but has made such a big impact in these skirmishes. He and Lucid have run the Rift. The Smash is just scaling up, right? He's 0-0 and 4, but he is this Viktor who's been given so much time to scale up already. He is 3 levels ahead of IU. You said 1.5 earlier, now it's 2.5 basically. And it is just a growing advantage. And Dplus just looking now to surgically remove this top turret off the map, using their prio to now get into the jungle here of FURIA and fish for those picks. JoJo going in.
Zenith Blade. Korea is going to hook shot, but he's out. JoJo is 2 levels ahead of Korea for what that matters to some people at home. Obviously, JoJo's been sapping a lot of experience, and I think has been in the lane a little bit more for IU to defend. But
and technically, we don't really talk about support scaling, but Leona's going to scale better in this game if they can survive.
That is true. I don't think JoJo's going to survive, though. That's the problem. Solar Flare only gets 1, and a Gravity Field down, a kick as well. JoJo flashes out. He's alive somehow. But what can we say about Tutsz? Good scatter of the week. Maybe saves his life, but ShowMaker's coming in with a Foxfire. We'll find the Orb of Deception as well. Unleash Power wasn't enough. Tatu looking for the Impale when? That's the only question here. Didn't see it used. As now under 2. Guigo trying to bring in his gold into the equation. Chaos Storm still ticking away into the wall. Lucid gets caught on out. Tatu's alive. JoJo's alive. IU finds ShowMaker or just about. Guigo getting poked on out, and Korea gets autoed. FURIA getting some gold back in this game, and it is anything but clean for DK's gold advantage.
Dplus playing a little bit fast and loose there, but more than that, I feel like FURIA are playing such an incredible game in this deficit. Everything we saw in that last exchange was super crisp and clean. Sure, Tutsz gets focused down, but they turn it into an opportunity. Tatu also walking a tightrope in that fight at low health. Trying to set up for a miracle defense, and IU ends up getting that kill. They're putting a dent in the massive gold deficit he has over Smash. So we'll watch it again here. It's JoJo who really starts this off, right? He's very durable. He is 2 levels up. If he were not, I think he would not survive this exchange, but is able to use his Eclipse here to buy a bunch of space, gets over the wall and survives. And then Dplus want more, but look at this. Tutsz gets the scatter. Tatu buys space, as we do see that teleport go off here for Guigo. Ends up showing up in this fight, and Dplus are not willing to just concede, and as a result, they stay for too long. Try to focus down this tanky Skarner. He pushes into the turret. And then the Ziggs shows up and does massive damage as Guigo is able to teleport in. Career goes down. He's not so durable as the Leona.
But he did have a shutdown, and IU does finally get a bit more gold on his side as well. Shadow Flames soon to come. DK, however, still on soul point after getting this dragon, so they're still firmly in control. But as you said, at this deficit, FURIA are finding themselves a couple of windows. Let's just see how that develops here, as next Dragon is a must, and Baron now up on the menu means one more mistake, and DK will advance a little bit more.
Yeah, it is really, I mean, when you think about the Infernal Soul, it is very terrifying to think of what that would make this already a scaling comp do, as JoJo,
yep.
Once again, he's the only one who could step up, obviously, so he is obviously going to take a lot of abuse here, but he is kind of a human ward, effectively, in this game, trying to find angles. If Dplus are out of position, they do have a lot of tools and pick potential if he can set up for it, but Dplus are not really making too many mistakes here.
Outside of that top play, I mean, it's only been trying to abuse Siwoo, abusing the top lane that's made any kind of difference. The ShowMaker's going to teleport set to top side and wait for this next wave. Observers like to go fast.
Yes.
They zoom.
They do like to zoom. We've had some banger moments. The POV during team fights today, that's kind of been pog. Shout out to the observers.
I really have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a new way to watch League.
True. And you're in the middle, you're like, whoa, I'm looking at Wukong now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Maybe we'll get some in this game, as it is looking fairly simple to follow the fights in this one. For the rest of it is JoJo once again. He's Leona.
So is Lucid. He's Elise in on top of Tatu. JoJo does go in. Zeta plays deep. He gets charm midway as well. Pulls out the Eclipse and wants to be tanky. Does so. Career tag a little bit here by Tatu as Ayu's joined in the fray as well. 5 members up on the top side means that Siwoo gets an open bot. Career found out his hookshot, wallshot doesn't amount to anything. He gets Mega Inferno bombs, but not enough damage yet from Ayu on this Ziggs to one shot.
At the same time, we do have Siwoo pushing the bottom lane.
Up Mega. So is he okay?
I think he will need some help.
Yes. That fan praying, maybe a DK fan. I don't know how many there are in Paris. They would be on the edge here today.
A lot do travel. I was actually on the flight with Dplus, and there are many Korean fans waiting to see them when they got off as Lucid's caught.
Well, maybe the fans didn't give more energy to Lucid, because you're right, Impale takes him down. Big pick from Tatu.
I mean, I'm not saying that the dominoes are starting to fall here, but we're starting to see these mistakes and these picks stack up a little bit. JoJo's having an incredible game. I mean, he has just been a punching bag, but he's so durable, right? It's not, the sand is not coming out.
Yeah.
His career is also playing with fire here a little bit. So we'll go back to this moment here. It's these small things, right? It's these really either over-aggressive plays from Dplus or just the constant vigilance in which FURIA are playing with here to look for those punishes. As there's control vision here, right? Tatu's trying to see, can we see if we can bait him in? Can we actually trick him to come in here? And he's not alone, right? Lucid gets caught here. The combo comes through, he's suppressed, and then JoJo comes through. This comp is a pick comp.
Yeah.
So if you are alone, as mobile as you often are as Lee Sin, eventually that CC will stack up and get you.
I bring back what you set up in draft. We took nameplates off. We'd say very standard current meta comp, or rather, I mean, maybe favorable comp for FURIA, right? Can they get to those scaling points? Well, the Ziggs almost at 3 items. Tutsz is now with the Proto Belt with a Blighting Jewel as well. There's some key items coming up, and remember, Guigo had a decent enough laning phase, got attention from Tatu. So there is a bit of gold in this Ambessa as well, if he can get to those backline targets and actually play the game.
And the longer this game goes on, the gold lead has shrunk a little bit for Dplus, but the leads mean less and less.
Yep.
And with the Ambessa being one of the champs with the lead and the 3 grubs they have and the Ziggs, all it takes is 1 or 2 fights here and FURIA start taking these turrets off the map. That gold lead can vanish. Now Dplus wanting to control right now the space around Dragon, because Infernal Soul is worth more than gold.
Oh yeah. JoJo found out again. Sonic Wave going to take him over the wall. DK moving his 3 members. ShowMaker's got the angle as well. The pinch out, Solar Flare. Meanwhile, Smash though found out. He flashes over the wall while Lucid takes down Tutsz. Both mid laners are down, or rather, both mid lane champions. As meanwhile, Guigo has the 1v3. He's already pulled out the public execution. Now Tatu needs to help his top lane around. Sonic Wave yet again, Lucid on the back line, finds Ayu, what a kick! Career runs into him as he flashes over the wall, though he survives. Taps charge, builds the space, but DK are healthy enough to continue the fight. FURIA, lower health bars than a 4v4, Siwoo pulls out the all-out, and Guigo has to run on top of Career. He'll trade his life, but a top laner for his support is always better here for DK. Tatu followed up with a Sonic Wave. They are on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift, and Lucid's on the chase as FURIA have lost the fight. If this continues, it might be a wipe. Siwoo looking for what he can pinch here. Sonic Wave over the wall. Standard Blade is janky, and JoJo's now isolated. Tatu has to re-engage. Ayu's left alone, and DK liked those odds. This time around, the Impale used out. ShowMaker flashes so he doesn't die in the rock. He's out of range.
And Tutsz is here.
Tatu's hit up. Tutsz has come on back. He has to protobelt through. He's the damage dealer, and he'll find that damage onto Siwoo. But once again, Furia's core target is isolated as he runs for his life using the Cinders. A turret's in his way. The range enough from the Viktor, and an ace, however long the fight was, from DK.
And ultimately, this means the Infernal Soul will go over to Dplus. And I think not a single Dplus fan watching this is liking what they are seeing.
No,
I think they're not feeling very great about how this has gone, because you might be saying, and some people watch this might be saying, well, I feel like Furia is playing way better League of Legends. Some might say, I think they have the better draft.
Right.
Some might say both, okay?
Yeah.
But ultimately, they're so far behind that even with their heroics, and they have been heroics hysterics here in this game. I mean, these catches, the pick on to smash JoJo, just having a phenomenal game. We said it earlier, but he's really making so much of an impact here. Guigo, the one who has the gold lead. They play around this. This is going to be a long replay, so strap in if we're going to go all the way to the end of it.
Oh yeah, speed it up.
But rather than breaking this down, talking about the overarching state of the game and what we have seen here from Furia might make you worried about the rest of this best of three, of what could happen if they weren't this far behind, if Lucid hadn't accelerated the game this much here. But he is a major part of why they win this extended fight. They get the Infernal Soul, and Furia fans, that might have been the last hurrah in this game.
Was that a Furia fan or a DK fan? We'll never know.
We don't know.
We'll never
don't
know. I think both teams are stressed at this point, but a 6.2k gold lead, Infernal Soul acquired, and now it's up to Baron. As you said, well, so aptly so, JoJo's engage has been great. A good dodge, though, from Korea, from the public execution. Tatu looking for the Impale Soul Flare. Flashed by Korea, but they've used a lot here. Furia in a choke as well. The Arcane Storm is out, and Tatu has to run out of there, but a charm connects on the top lane. First, ShowMaker has found the pick. Now Tatu versus 3 will not find his mark. Instead, JoJo's the new target. A charm again from ShowMaker, while Lucid takes care of business, and Impale just delays time. And DK have caught Furia napping.
He was looking back at the Baron saying, back me up!
Yeah.
I got the Impale! You got this, Baron!
Where are you?
Yeah, well, Dplus, I think with that win in the jungle and the Infernal Soul, are looking poised to take this game. Not going to be the sub 30 minute you predicted earlier, which I think was a reasonable prediction.
I think until we saw a couple of those fights, it was, yep.
And we'll watch this one again. I mean, in moments like this, as Furia, they're trying to get the pick onto career, right? They're trying to find anything they can, because their comp is a pick-based comp, especially from behind. That's all they can fish for, but Dplus there for backup, as the Baron is not there for backup for Tatu in this case, as it's a neutral objective that Dplus have now claimed, and it's being used against them. See the power play up to 1,500 already here off the Baron Slay alone. 10,000 gold lead here means Dplus have doubled what they had in the mid-game, and now it should be smooth sailing to start breaking open the base.
Tatu looks for a target. Korea's just going to pace it out. Level 11, he gets scattered the weak. Maybe inting a little bit here, but Tatu needs to find a kill. Soulflare's going to help with that. Meanwhile, Lucid finds a kick onto Tutsz to follow up with Tempest Cripple. One more bit of damage needed. Lucid gets over the wall with Safeguard. Meanwhile, it's ShowMaker with 25 stacks on the Magi's, who takes down Ahri, who's had a really tough time being alive in this game. Tatu found by the rest of DK, who are trailing narrowly behind Lucid, who is on a PVM journey right now in Furia's base. Tatu on the run, and this one is done. Charm in the face, and it is ShowMaker who is taking down Tatu to end this fight.
Yeah, and potentially start to end this game. That's a lot of damage coming through from Smash.
Oh, yeah.
Drops down the Chaos Storm, and the base is being broken on two fronts here, as it's going to be 2 inhibitors to fall, but perhaps more. Lucid taking out this bottom one. And if anyone tries to defend these Nexus turrets and dies, the game will end right here. TP coming through as well from Siwoo. They want to end it right now.
They do with the Baron buff, they can do that, and at least we're close to the 30-minute right now, as Siwoo's going to jump on in, taking enough to take the charge in front of the turrets. He's taking no damage. Furia lose one more. Tutsz about to go. Double flip on back is beautiful as well. In for the mosh pit. Guigo is just going to fall up next as DK's top laner finally gets some numbers on the board, some bigger than when he started. Triple kill for him, and DK had a lot of fun. I
would say so. You know, I was concerned about the draft?